40 years of Standard Bank championing the arts, 50 years of the National Arts Festival, approximately 180 Standard Bank Young Artist Award recipients, and 10 days of amazing good people. Welcome to the Blue Couch with Matawa Tladi, and today we are graced with the creme de la creme of the Standard Bank Young Artist Award compliment. We have Darren English, we have Benjamin Jephta, and we have Kyle Shepherd. Kyle, who is a pianist, who is a film scorer, a man, when you read his resume, you get the sense that he's on speed dial for many artists as he collaborates with dancers, photographers, musicians from an array of genres. And he has a comfortable seat as a Standard Bank Young Artist Award alumni. Kyle, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having us here.
Lovely, lovely. And next to Kyle, we have Benjamin Jephta, a musician who seamlessly bridges the ethics of music education with his craft. He himself is a Standard Bank Young Artist Award recipient. Benjamin.
Away, what's up?
Away, away, away.
Good.
And last and most certainly not least is Nkosi Usingaye, the man of the hour. The man for the ear. Yes, we made that up now. We made that up now. We have Darren English, who is touted as being a musician who leans to the wisdom of those who have come before us, a stranger. Absolutely not to an accolade. Darren once said that the day that he feels that he has arrived, that's when you know that he has a problem. And we anticipate no problems this year, as he is the 2023 Standard Bank Young Artist Award recipient in the category of jazz. Congratulations, Darren.
Thank you
How
so
are
much,
you?
Matabo. Doing well, thank you.
Lovely, lovely stuff. On the point of you being an award recipient globally, how does being a Standard Bank Young Artist Award recipient stand out in your collage of awards?
I would say that probably the most prolific feeling about receiving this award is that, I have some of my best friends who received this award as well before me, and some of my mentors who have received the same award. And on that premise, it's more special than any other award, which, it stands alone as a Standard Bank award.
Essentially, you're saying that your friends receiving the award in itself represented the idea that you yourself could one day receive it.
To be honest with you, even just culturally, when my friends win, I win. Like it's just, if they win like that, man, I'm winning too.
Yeah.
So it's more a thing of now that I'm actually an award winner. We get to celebrate even more now together as a collective, which is even more so special as my band actually comprises of previous Standard Bank award winners, young artists.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite special for me to have my best friends and again, within this music and culturally. So I think it's awesome.
When we look at our country, we're 30 years into democracy, and when we look at the composition of the jazz ensemble, there are so many lessons on leadership and community that we can learn from. Kyle, Benjamin, Darren, please share with us what the country can learn about community and about leadership by looking at the characteristics of a jazz ensemble.
Essentially, jazz is one of the most democratic art forms that you can find in the world today. It doesn't exist within just one individual's approach or individual space. It's like Darren, for example, when this ensemble brings his music, but it's up to us to all add to it and give our own unique voice. And we ultimately, although it's Darren's music, we all have a say in the way the music is interpreted, because he cannot do what I do, he cannot do what Kyle does, but so he has to trust this whole process and trust everyone in the ensemble. So essentially it's almost a democracy in its purest form.
Sure.
Yeah, and then fully agree with what Benjamin's saying, and adding to it, it's a great example of inclusion in its purest form, and sort of a complete lack of prejudice in its purest form as well, because there's a kind of thing in jazz where it doesn't really matter your race, creed, religion, gender, etc. What really matters is, like, can you play the music or not? And generally, if you can play the music, you're in the band. You know, we don't really, you know, the band leader is not really concerned with your politics or so on. And you know, if you can keep it separate. But that's the beauty of this music. I find, you know, it's about, you know, whether you can play the music, whether your spirit is giving, and that's what it's all about when we get on stage.
Yeah. Darren, your thoughts?
I think Carl and Benjamin summed it up. Like I literally just listened and I agree with everything. You know, jazz has been the people's music. You know, since its origins. How jazz came about was a people's music. You know, and it's not that it was only a struggle music, but it was the voice of the people. You know, and jazz music literally is if not one of the only musics that is forever evolving, as people are. You know, like we change. You know, we change. Like every generation, you can see a shift, and jazz has kind of gone with that. So it's still prevalent that it's the people's music. It's still, because it's actually moving with us. You know.
South African born, bred, you based in the US.
Was
And now you're back.
I'm back.
What can we anticipate in the music this year with your presentation, the influences from Atlanta mixed with the influences of South Africa? How are you negotiating space within those sounds?
And you know, since being back, obviously I've resubmerged myself in the scene, and I think my biggest inspiration still stem from home. And I still take a lot from my time in the States. I spent 10 years there, so I definitely do take off that, and it will always be a part of me. I still love being there. I still plan going there every year to perform, but I think just being back has actually influenced the new work more so. And then also playing with my brothers, it brings on even more of a gees, you know, for us just to be a part of it.
So when you go on your website, there is a statement there that was said by Nelson Mandela, and I want you to help us link your resonance to the statement, and it reads, "It is music and dance that make me at peace with the world." Why was that statement so important and so emboldened on your website?
Man, I just think that music, I mean, actually the arts, it's not only music and dance, you know, it's theater, it's, you know, spoken word, poetry, everything within the arts. I feel fine art even, that can be a voice without saying anything. I think that's always at the forefront of words, of what we can discuss, whether it's politics or whether it's race or religion. When music is played, music literally, I say music because that's my forte, you know, but within the arts, when you witness something within the arts, there's something that happens there where you don't really need words. And sometimes you can read a write-up of a journalist or something where you were at the concert and you read this write-up and you go like, man, it wasn't, that was a great write-up, but it wasn't even that, because no one can actually really put into words what the arts truly says.
Yeah.
You know, which is something quite special. And that statement for me just says it all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We are all artists here. In my own right, I'm a performer, and I've come to the National Arts Festival bringing on theatre pieces, and I have my own feelings about what this site represents for the artist. But knowing that Standard Bank is at the cornerstone in making festivals such as these possible, where we can think, we can collaborate. Jefferson Shabalala was saying that artists save people, and when we are here as a community, artists get to save each other. How has it felt for you to know that you have a banker that recognizes the artist and the art supporting the National Festival? And that's for you, Benjamin, as well as Kyle.
I mean, I guess culture in any kind of society is something very important, and often we as artists we don't necessarily make for the sake of winning awards, for example, but we we create our art often for ourselves, but we try and reflect what's happening in our society, and it's cool that a lot of people can resonate with the art that we create. And I think there is often a responsibility then from other people around us to help support this within South African culture. And I've always been grateful to institutions like Standard Bank for stepping up and seeing the importance, first of all, in culture, for culture in a society, and also seeing the need that a lot of culture in our country does need some capital behind it, and
Yeah.
it needs to be supported and put on certain platforms, and so that people can access it. Not only people privileged enough to have the money, for example, or the means to get to shows, for
Yeah,
example, but
yeah.
also people who don't, because ultimately we inspire them as well, not necessarily to become artists, but if they do, that's cool. But it's also to become better human beings in general, and that's, I guess, for me, the role of an artist in our society.
Sure. Kyle.
Yeah, we've all been around the world playing music, and for example, one gets a sense in many first world countries that have now, what's it, 500-600 years of concert going experiences, from the classical music scene through. There does seem to be a sort of starving, they're starving for some fresh ideas.
Yeah.
And South Africa, the continent of Africa, is something why I'm passionate about this place still. And a lot of people ask all of us, why do we still live in South Africa? And my answer is always the same. South Africa and the continent of Africa is a wonderful incubator space for ideas, great ideas. Things that are happening in West Africa at the moment, things that are happening in South Africa, in places like Joburg, a wonderful urban movement of creatives, very exciting stuff, things that haven't been seen in the rest of the world. And in a sense, because we don't have the kind of civic institutions like they do in Europe, Western Europe, and so on, supporting the art in the way, it's kind of a responsibility for responsible brands, whomever they may be, in this case Standard Bank, to support the art and to recognize the contribution that art has in a society, particularly in a society like South Africa's.
Yeah. Award winners represent a voice of a particular generation. They represent a particular politic and a particular thematic. Now, your brother, as you all say, is now a Standard Bank Young Artist Award recipient. Him receiving this award this year, what politic, what sound, what thematic, what value does Darren represent for this here generation? I'll start with you, Kyle.
Well, I mean, without blowing too much hot smoke down his. I mean, we're great friends and we can banter like that. But I think, my respect for your musicianship and just your skill level and what you contribute is just so important, I think. Not only for younger musicians to see, but even your contemporaries, in some cases, even some older musicians, to see somebody operating on such a high level, and then also getting to know you, the type of human being you are. It's just a wonderful, sort of a great example, and I guess we're all trying to, be in the sort of same mindset, but to embody sort of high level creativity, proficiency, professionalism, the whole package that it actually takes to be an artist like Darren and Benji have become. So I'm super proud of both of them. I mean, we know each other for like almost 20 years now. So yeah, my congratulations to you. And I didn't get a chance to say on camera, but a few years ago, congratulations to Benjamin. So I'm just gonna take the chance now.
Better late than never.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Cool. I mean, Kyle said a lot there. I guess if you didn't know, I went to high school with Darren.
Sure.
So I know him for quite a while within the music thing and with also in the kind of high school and also family things.
Yeah.
So with everything that's being said about Darren, obviously he's a great musician. He has a very interesting voice on the trumpet. But I think for me, what comes out a lot about Darren is his like deep love and passion for music itself and how it becomes so infectious. Like I like to say that Darren is hunger to play, man. Like he will always want to play. Like no matter what mood he's in, no matter what's happening. You know, jazz musicians, we tend to want to be cool, so we come into a space and people's playing and it's a jam session or whatever, and we're like, nah, I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna hang out, whatever. But Darren's that kind of guy. It's like, no, I want to play. Who's playing? Like I just want to play all the time, and it just shows that it's really not an ego thing for Darren, man. He just wants to play. He just wants to be out there, and he has such a deep passion for the music. And I think it becomes very infectious at times when he comes with that energy to the music. And they're like, yeah, if Darren wants to play, I think we should play. Yeah, let's play. Kind of vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool for young people to also see, you know, because sometimes now a lot of young musicians, they also not just too cool to play, right? But now they're seeing these older cats, they're like, nah, but these guys, they want to play, they're here to play, and like maybe, you know, maybe we should step out and play, right? And I think he always sets the tone, and he sets the floor, not very intimidating at all, like providing space for a lot of younger musicians to also come play, right? So I always see that in Darren's demeanor, and I think it's great that now he gets this award and people get to see that on a big stage and on a platform, like how giving he is to the music and how much he wants to create space for other people as well.
Sure. Our appetites are most certainly watered hearing Kyle and Benjamin speak about your work. Darren, where is the work going to? We have it here at the National Arts Festival. Where do people get a hold of you? Where's the music going?
Man, firstly, I literally thought I was gonna cry during this. I was like, man, like, yo, you guys are saying some nice stuff here. But yo, thank you guys. Firstly, like, I obviously share that same sentiment. If I can just backtrack, I share the same sentiment, and I may even chant during this. But I mean, even with Benjamin, you know, like he was a few years younger than me at school, and I mean, since playing at school, like, I mean, he's always just been this voice, you know, like super powerful, super strong. Kyle's always been like the genius on the scene. I think I'm actually gonna cry here. Hey, this is. But I mean, I remember my first year coming to Grahamstown. Kyle opened the festival with his trio, and he was still in high school. And man, it was like.
Goodness me. It's okay.
That was actually a vibe. No, it was actually a vibe. Because like, I mean, also just, I mean, getting to be friends with Kyle and like knowing the scene. Like, man, he spearheaded showing like culturally also what's possible.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, that guy's doing it. Like, we can do it, you know.
Sure.
Okay, that's that. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. I'll tell you the next things later. But regarding where I see the music growing, man, I'm digging this band at the moment. I know that it happens to be all Standard Bank previous award winners, which is great. But I think even if we took that title away, these are guys I would still choose to have in this band. Which I think, and this isn't knocking Standard Bank, this isn't knocking any other part of that, but it's just, that's to show how great they are to me.
Sure.
You know? And then when you bring Standard Bank back in, it's of course they're that great because they won the award before. You know, so it's this entire, it's just like this growth of like, I've known everyone before they were award winners, including Kesa van Naidu, who's our drummer. And then knowing that this grows now with the support of Standard Bank is incredible.
Yeah.
I hope and pray that you know, this band can remain a collective, that we can take this music and branch out. I mean, even playing compositions of the other players as well, you know, for it to become a collective that we get to use in the future.
So after playing at the National Arts Festival, where can people catch the music?
And so we're super excited to go on tour with the same collective. I have a very good friend from the States joining us, Miguel Alvarado, on saxophone. And we play on the 3rd of July at Untitled Basement. So please secure your tickets, it's live on Quicket. And in Cape Town, a very special performance at the Homecoming Centre, Star Theatre, previously the Fugard Theatre. That's on the 5th, on Friday, 5th of July. And then we have some plans at the later in the year at the Joburg Jazz Festival, and hopefully we can again take this thing on tour.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely
Thank
stuff. It is something particularly special when celebrating 40 years of partnership with the National Arts Festival, celebrating 50 years of the National Arts Festival, but also celebrating a good 20 years of friendship, of brotherhood that translates in the music Zingosi. It is the Blue Couch with Matabo Tladi, hosted at the hearty 1862 restaurant on 49 on African Street. Get in touch with us on social media, all platforms. It is Standard Bank Arts. And remember, Standard Bank, the champion of the arts. See you on the other side of this.